Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unhindered Faith. Hey, we're going to continue our November theme, which is Overflow with Gratitude. I actually started it last week, so if you didn't take a look at it, you can go back and take a look. But today's message is one that hits every single one of us. And here it is. Can gratitude change your life, even if your situation doesn't change? I believe that the answer is yes. Not because gratitude magically fixes problems, but because gratitude shifts the atmosphere inside of you. So that you can face the outside world with faith instead of fear. So let me ask you something real. When was the last time you stopped and recognized the things God is doing that you've walked past without noticing? Let me ask you this question again. When was the last time you stopped and recognized the things God is doing that you have walked past without noticing? You see, we live in a world full of stress and pressure, bad news, and comparison. And you can scroll yourself into discouragement into under 10 seconds. But here's what God has shown me. Gratitude isn't about what's happening around you. Gratitude is about seeing God in the middle of what is happening around you. And that's the game changer. That gratitude opens your eyes. Gratitude is like spiritual glasses. It helps you see clearly what you were blind to before. Psalms 103 says this, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." Why would God say, forget not, unless our hearts naturally forget? We forget answered prayers because new problems show up. We forget blessings because busyness buries them. We forget breakthroughs because our attention drifts. Gratitude brings them back into focus, and gratitude helps you look again. Gratitude replaces anxiety with perspective. Anxiety says, what if things get worse? Gratitude says, look at how God has been faithful before. Fear asks, what if God doesn't show up? Gratitude answers, he's never failed yet. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches us something powerful. It says, gratitude is not the result of peace, it is the pathway to peace. It says in everything, and then it goes on, with thanksgiving, and goes on, present your requests to God. Why Thanksgiving? Because gratitude recenters your heart before God ever changes your circumstances. You see, gratitude transforms your atmosphere. You can walk into a room heavy and leave it hopeful simply through one shift. Gratitude spoken out loud. You see, gratitude is spiritual warfare. It pushes back darkness. It shakes depression. It quiets anxiety. It breaks complaining. It lifts heaviness. Whenever gratitude rises, the atmosphere changes. That's why the enemy attacks your gratitude first. Because he knows if he can keep you complaining, he can keep you from overflowing. Gratitude isn't a feeling, it's a daily devotion. If you wait to feel grateful, you may never start. Gratitude grows when it's practiced. It strengthens when it's spoken. It deepens when it becomes a habit. I love how one pastor says, gratitude doesn't deny reality, it reframes it. Let me say it again. Gratitude doesn't deny reality, it reframes it. It doesn't pretend everything is perfect. It simply acknowledges that God is perfect in everything. Life will still have valleys. but gratitude helps you notice the shepherd in the valley. So here are some practical applications that we can apply to our life this week. You ready? Here it is. 1, say one thing out loud that you're thankful for every morning. Let me say it again. Say one thing out loud that you're grateful for every morning. It resets your posture. Here's number 2. Replace one complaint with gratitude. Every time you catch yourself complaining, pause, breathe, and say one thing God has done. And here's the third one. Write down one blessing you almost missed. Write down one blessing you almost missed. Small mercies are still God's mercies. Gratitude grows where attention goes. You don't need to be perfect week. It doesn't need to be a perfect week to overflow with gratitude. You just need a moment to look again at how faithful God already is. This whole month, our church has been filling up an overflow gratitude jar, filling out 3x5 cards of things, the small things that God has done, and for us to notice the little things that God has done in our lives day in, day out. And we've been putting them in this jar so that by the end of this month, it would be overflowing. And right now we have a couple hundred of 3x5 cards that are folded up in this tall gratitude jar. And what's amazing to me is in our church that this represents a couple hundred of things that God has constantly been showing himself to be real, and that he is still moving in our lives, even in the small things. And so I just want to encourage you this week, just take a moment and just shift maybe an attitude, shift maybe perspective, and just start thanking God even for the small things. It doesn't have to be a perfect week. We just know God is in every situation that we're having to face. If today's message has spoken to you, I would love for you to drop a comment. Thank you, God, for what I almost overlooked. And I'll be praying over your gratitude this week. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe for weekly messages just like this one, and share this with someone who needs encouragement today. And comment your gratitude below. And remember, overflow doesn't begin when your life gets easier. It begins when your heart gets clear. Love you, and have a blessed week.